Alright, so I made a video about PC that I bought, a pre-built HP computer that came with this board, and the board works sometimes, but not all the time. So it'll boot into the BIOS. After any restart, it will not display. The screen will just be black, and usually it happens when I have a keyboard connected. After disconnecting the keyboard and turning the PC on, there are times where it will boot and the BIOS will show up, but it's not always the case. It doesn't always boot up. I checked the pins. Honestly, they look fine. They don't look damaged or anything. But once I get into the BIOS, it does it does show the memory that is being detected, the CPU is being detected. So yeah, so this will be my last attempt on seeing if this works. I did get some comments on the last video, basically to use contact cleaner. I don't have any of that, but what I did do is I cleaned the motherboard with alcohol, 99% rubbing alcohol. I just grabbed the regular paintbrush and just started brushing it off. I did test it off camera and it still doesn't work. There was also a comment to clean the USB ports, but after checking, there's absolutely nothing wrong with these ports. They look clean, nothing wrong with them. Did blow some air on there. Even after that, it still was causing that issue. So I don't know what it could be, honestly. I've actually never had this issue before. The reason I haven't had this issue before, probably because I've actually never owned or actively used a pre-built system. My very first pre-built PC was back in like 2017, so that's pretty long ago. It was also an HP pre-built. It was not a gaming PC. It was like a HP Pavilion with no graphics card. But yeah, I've never dealt with this issue before, so it's very interesting to see. I'm gonna do a final attempt here. I'm gonna test two CPUs. I have the original CPU that came with this motherboard, which is i7 6700. And I'm also going to test it with this i7 7500. This should support both CPUs. And then I am going to test all the DDR4 memory that I have. Last attempt before I recycle this. Yeah, we're going to see if any of this works. So I'm going to start off by installing the board on my test bench, installing the CPU, getting the monitor and all that stuff. All right, so I got this set up. I put all the original components on here. So the power supply is the original power supply from the case. The original memory that came with the build. The CPU, the i7 6700, stock cooler. Nothing else connected. I will disconnect the Wi-Fi card. Tested this without the Wi-Fi card, but I'm just gonna remove it for this test here. So this is my final attempt once more for to see if I can repair this or what the hell's going on with this motherboard. So I'm gonna power it on and we're gonna see if we boot. Sometimes we will, sometimes we won't. I don't have anything connected to it besides the HDMI cable. So if it boots up, I will connect the keyboard. There was another comment that was left on my previous video to disable something about security. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna power it on. I'm gonna power it on again. All right. Well, it's not even posting anymore. Disconnected. I'm gonna see if I can reset the BIOS here real quick. All right, so let's do this again. All right, so after 5 minutes, no post, and I'm gonna try a different memory. It's the easiest thing to test. Try XPG. I did test these in the last video. All right, let's try this one. All right, so it's been running for a bit and no post. So I'm gonna power it off and try a different set of RAM. All right, let's power this on. Damn, yeah, like before I would at least get like a post, but now I'm not even getting a single display. Nothing. I think I probably destroyed the board testing it too many times. But yeah, well, this has been running for a bit. I'm gonna try another set of RAM. All right, let's test this set. G.Skill. I'm connected to the monitor. Let me try this other port. No signal. Alright, this has been running for a bit. Let me restart. Let me shut this off. Try the next set of memory. Another set of G.Skill. Alright, well, no display. Now I'm just gonna try. Alright, well, That didn't work, so I'm gonna try a different slot. Alright, well, try the next slot. Alright, so it's been running for a bit and still no display, so definitely not a memory issue. It's got to be something else. I did a BIOS reset with the jumpers, but now I'm just going to remove the battery. I'm going to remove the battery and hold the power button to drain all the capacitors, and that also helps with resetting the BIOS. So I'm going to try that. Alright, so it's been running for a bit, and yeah, we still get no posts, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've tested most of the memory, and yeah, it's not a RAM issue. Maybe it's a socket issue. The CPU that came with this, the i7 6700, is fully functional. I did test that out. I did test the CPU with a different motherboard, and there was no issues with that. So it's definitely not a CPU issue. It's definitely a motherboard issue. i5 7500. I'm gonna test that out. All right, let's install the i5 real quick. All right, so we got the we got the i5 7500 installed. Now we're gonna power it on and see if we get anything different. All right, well, definitely not getting anything now. Yeah, so unfortunately, the board is probably absolutely dead now. Dead, not working anymore. But yeah, I did everything I could. I tested every DDR4 memory I had. I tested the only other CPU that I had. I did do a quick Google search for this board and the model number, and only like 4 CPUs popped up, which was the i7, 7700K, the 6700, 6700K, i5 7500, and the 7500K or something like that. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or any questions, leave a comment. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.